pig family might be much bigger than we thought. Did you know Peppa may actually have an evil twin who's been chasing baby Eevee? The evil twin. The evil twin theory is one of the oldest in Peppa Pig, because there are signs that Peppa has a dark version of herself ever since the very beginning of the show, especially because an official poster from the first season turned out to be pretty strange, to say the least. That's because in this family photo, there was a second Peppa staring at her relatives from far away, as if she were spying on them or acting like some kind of ghostly figure. That's when the theory came up suggesting that Peppa has a twin sister who was abandoned by the pig family, probably for being extremely evil, and now spends her days hiding inside their house, watching everything they do. And the one who will suffer the most from this is Mommy Pig's new baby. That's right, the evil twin is after Eevee. So get ready, because we're about to tell you everything. You know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave! New house. Anyone who thought the evil twin stopped chasing the pigs after they moved is completely wrong. You probably already know that Peppa and her family started living in a new house after Eevee was born. But that didn't help them escape the twin. In fact, it only made her job easier. Think about it. Daddy Pig didn't build a completely new house somewhere else. He simply rebuilt the old one, making it bigger and adding more rooms so Eevee could have more space. So the evil twin didn't have to move at all. She just stayed right there, waiting for her family to come back. And believe me, from that moment on, everything became even more favorable for this wicked little pig. After all, she now lives in a huge house full of places to hide. If the pig family couldn't find her before, imagine now. And since the evil twin is sneaky by nature, she probably knows every corner of the house and can move around without anyone noticing. It gets even worse if the pig family lowers their guard, thinking they're finally free from this cruel girl, because that would give her the perfect opportunity to make a surprise attack so vicious that Eevee could even end up losing her life. Chasing Eevee. But why would she be targeting Eevee specifically? Well, the reasons are pretty simple. The evil twin wanted desperately to be loved, but she was abandoned by her family. Now imagine discovering that your mom had a brand new baby who, unlike you, is adored by everyone. By the parents, siblings, relatives, and especially by the viewers of the show. That's enough to drive anyone crazy. Of course, the evil twin won't let that slide, and now that both of them live in the same house, it's only a matter of time before the baby starts being tormented. It's ironic that the new home is bigger because of Eevee, yet the one who benefits the most from that is the evil twin. Since the baby has her own bedroom, what's stopping the evil twin from visiting her in the middle of the night without anyone noticing? Eevee herself would probably think the little pig who entered the room is just Peppa, instead of another sister with much darker intentions. For all we know, the evil twin might be visiting Eevee every single night, and we just don't know about it. The truth is that we have no idea what the twin actually wants with Eevee. Does she want to take her life at once? Or torment her little by little, pulling pranks and doing all kinds of cruel things without Eevee even understanding what's going on? If you also want to see Peppa's twin finally exposed in the show, comment down below, #twin. Paranoia. Unlike Eevee, there's a good chance that Peppa and George already know the evil twin is after their baby sister, and that's hinted at in the episode where the two of them start putting safety protections all over the dangerous parts of the house to avoid any kind of accident involving Eevee. They were supposed to simply make it harder for the baby to trip or hurt herself by touching something around the house, but they go so overboard that they cover the entire living room with bubble wrap, while the whole kitchen gets shut down because they considered it way too dangerous. If you watch this episode without knowing the dangers inside this house, it's easy to see their actions as simple cluelessness, something totally normal for kids that young. However, once you consider the possible existence of an evil twin inside that house, their overprotective behavior suddenly makes a lot more sense. They might be afraid that the twisted version of Peppa could push Eevee onto the floor, or grab something sharp from the kitchen and use it to attack the baby. Did Peppa and George see the evil twin visiting Eevie's room in the middle of the night and realize right then that their little sister's life is in danger? Chasing Peppa. And Peppa knows very well that her evil twin is a true threat, because before Eevee was even born, she was the one being hunted by her sister for years. At least, that's what it seems like based on certain episodes where Peppa acts very differently than usual, much ruder than normal. We believe that in those moments, the one on screen isn't the real Peppa, but her evil twin taking her place while Peppa is doing something else. Nobody notices the difference, which makes everyone think Peppa is acting like a jerk out of nowhere. That's why at one point, Peppa accused Susie of cheating during a game for no reason. And that's probably also why Peppa sometimes treats her own father poorly, making fun of his big belly and calling him silly. That's not how a loving daughter behaves. But the worst example is when she makes the password to enter her treehouse Daddy's Big Belly, with the sole intention of humiliating him. And it works, because you can clearly tell by Daddy Pig's face that he felt offended and embarrassed. All of these actions sound much more like something the evil twin would do, not Peppa. Another sign that strengthens the theory is that Peppa even forgets events from previous episodes. In the episode where Dottie appears for the first time, Peppa asks her mother who Dottie is, as if she had never heard of her before. But that wasn't the case at all. Her maternal aunt had already been mentioned in the episode Horsey Twinkletoes. How could Peppa forget the existence of her own aunt, who had sent her a toy horse as a gift? The answer is simple. She had never heard of Dottie, because the evil twin was pretending to be her during the toy horse episode. Spying. See how the evil twin's influence is everywhere? And it might be even worse than that. There's a bizarre possibility that the evil sister isn't spying on the family only with her own eyes, but also through Peppa and George's toys. Yes, we're talking about Teddy and Mr. Dinosaur. Think about it. George and Peppa are almost always carrying these toys around, and they even bring them outside the house. Actually, even to other countries. Like when Peppa took Teddy to Italy and almost lost her several times. Planting a camera inside the toys would be the perfect strategy for the evil twin to spy on her family way more easily. And she may have put in more than just one camera. Peppa always treated Teddy like a living being, and constantly talks to the toy, even saying the teddy bear is a girl. You already know where this is going, right? The evil twin is probably communicating with her sister through a hidden device inside Teddy, making Peppa think she's talking to her stuffed animal. What's curious is that she acts friendly while pretending to be Teddy. Is she doing that only to trick Peppa? Or deep down, does the evil twin actually wish she could be friends with her sister? And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Running away. Have you noticed that the pig family has already taken several trips to different countries? They've traveled to Italy, the United States, and even Paris. Would you believe us if we said these trips are also completely connected to the evil twin? Yes, every inch of the pigs' lives is affected by this girl's existence. All of these trips would normally be done solely so everyone could have fun, and the pig family probably does want to enjoy themselves during these vacations. But the main reason they might be happening could actually be something else: running away from the evil twin, even if only for a short amount of time. If that really is the case, it would be pretty sad if the theory about the twin spying on everyone through their toys turned out to be true. The pig family would only think they're safe during their travels, but they would still be watched the whole time. Could that be why, in the episode set in Italy, Teddy the teddy bear gets so much attention? Chasing George. We already talked about Eevie being chased by the evil twin, the same thing she did to Peppa in the past. However, it's important to remember that George was also a victim of this stalking during the same period of Peppa's life. That's because when the evil twin shows up pretending to be the main character of the show, the biggest target of her cruelty ends up being George. We see that happening in the episode Snow, when the little pig smashes George with a giant snowball that clearly would have knocked him over. It's hard to believe that wasn't intentional. She was definitely acting out of pure malice. In another episode, she kicks George and Richard Rabbit out of her treehouse just because they were boys in the middle of a girls' tea party, even though they were completely quiet and not bothering anyone. The The two even started crying, but Peppa, or better said the evil twin, didn't care at all. Hiding spots. We already mentioned that the pig's new house is full of places to hide. If you doubted that, don't worry. We're about to explain why this environment is basically a natural habitat for the evil twin. First of all, the house now has a pretty big garage, a spot full of corners to hide in, and the place where the pigs don't spend much time. Perfect for watching them without being seen. Besides that, the house also has a game room that isn't always being used. The evil twin must love this area of the house, especially because that's where the computer is. Not even an evil twin of Peppa would resist the urge to play a little on the computer. It's almost over, but until then you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you. Thanks, and see you next time.